Hello and welcome back to Books and Tea with Katie. I'm Katie, your host. Thank you for listening to this wonderful cozy corner for book discussions, mysteries, and of course a good cup of tea, which green tea is on the list for today. I don't know, I'm just in the mood for it. So today I am reviewing a book by Ann Parker, The Deadly Detective Agency. This book has a blend of mystery and some humor and the supernatural, which I just absolutely love. And it blends it in a way that is unique. It's different. So I'm excited to have you here and I can't wait to get started. So please grab your favorite cup of tea, whatever it is, chamomile chai tea, settle in and let's talk ghosts, detectives, and just a whole bunch of unfinished business. Okay, so let's start out with the book blurb, as I like to do when reviewing books. Okay, here goes. Death is only the beginning for Abigail Summers. In the small village of Beaconsfield, dressmaker Abigail Summers faces the most unusual challenge of her life, solving her own murder. After meeting a group of fellow spirits at the local library, Abigail, with the aid of psychic medium Haley Moon and her husband, a police constable, sets out to find her killer. Abigail's investigation leads her to the May Day Fair stalls and Maypole dance at Chiltern Hall. The case takes an unexpected turn when a local boy disappears and a suicide seems to hold the key to the mystery. The first book in the Abigail Summers Cozy Mystery series, The Deadly Detective Agency, weaves together suspense, humor, and a touch of the paranormal. Okay, that's the blurb. It's a great blurb. I love it. Okay, so The Deadly Detective Agency is the first book in Ann Parker's Abigail Summers Cozy Mystery series. It is set in Chiltern, England. So I can imagine that, picturesque Chiltern, England, where we are following Abigail Summers. She is a gifted seamstress who finds herself on the other side of the hereafter, right? She's died rather unexpectedly, but rather than passing peacefully into the afterlife, which apparently you can do, you can choose to see the light and go, or you stay. And most people in this book, these people, the ones that stay, choose to stay. A lot of the time it's because they've had a traumatic passing. And Abigail discovers that she's got unfinished business. She wants to know why. How did I die? I don't understand. And she's not alone. Abigail joins a lively group of kind of like very different people. You got old, you got young, and spirited, like, feisty, and then others are stern and that. So it's a good collective group. And she gets introduced to this group, and I won't spoil how, but she gets introduced to this group, and they form this spectral detective agency, this ghost detective agency. And they all have mysteries that they've never solved in life. Together, they then investigate what happened to Abigail, because it's exciting. It's like, ooh, okay. She wants to know what happened, and they're in. They're like, let's do this. So they start trying to solve what happened to Abigail. In so doing, we have her latest case. This book is interesting because there are multiple things going on here. So in this book, you don't just have one mystery you're solving. You have 4 or 5. That's unusual in a book. So if you like that, if you like to solve multiple than just one, this is a book to check out, definitely. But as Abigail kind of pieces together the clues and her team, things get a little rocky in the group, number one. And she also realizes that this is a case that's not just clear cut. This is tangled. There's a lot of interconnecting pieces, and solving her case can bring understanding of not only her own fate, but some of the others in the group. And it gets heated at times, which is cool. I like it. Still cozy, still a cozy mystery. Okay, so we have, let's see. I think, like, as far as the characters, this is a great, one of its strengths in this book is the rich cast of characters. Let's kind of break them down a little bit. Abigail, I've talked about, she's our protagonist. She's a reluctant ghost, right? She kind of gets into being a detective in the afterlife, but she's reluctant. I mean, nobody really likes to die. So as a seamstress, like a tailor in life, she finds herself like piecing together an entirely new world and like how things work. So for instance, one thing, and I'll give this away because this is where the humor comes in. So apparently when you pass, you are forever in the clothes that you pass in, or lack of clothes, I guess, if you want to go that extreme. But so she dies in her sleep. So she's in her pajamas. So she's walking around in her pajamas all the time. And yeah, that would be disconcerting. So it makes me wonder too, you start kind of thinking in your own life. I know when I was younger, I heard so many older people saying, make sure you're presentable in public. You just never know when an emergency might happen or whatever. But this is kind of humorous. This is a humorous take on that because it's like, be careful when you pass away, make sure you're in some good 90s or whatever, because you may be in it forever. That's very humorous to me. And I absolutely love that part. So she's in her pajamas and I guess little bedhead, and she's going around trying to figure out her own death. Abigail is interesting. She's very, she's not just two-dimensional. So she had, to me, a lonely kind of existence. I mean, she just kept busy to, I think, avoid reality. And her closest relatives were, I think, like a nephew, and but they weren't close at all. I mean, she didn't talk to anybody. She worked, and she was really good at what she did, and she had a really great reputation. So she always had clothes that she was working on because she did such a great job. And that's wonderful. The thing is I found myself feeling sad for her because she didn't have that love of her life. And that's something that, she really wanted. And so it's kind of like, oh no, I'm, passed away now. There's no hope, right? Like kind of thing. But maybe there is, you never know, right? In the afterworld. But, so she's kind of a lonely person, and she's just really involved her in just kind of dove right into her work. And I think we, can relate to that. A lot of people can relate to that. When things go wrong, I know that I just kind of pile up my work and then just try and avoid the rest of the world. So I can definitely relate to her. She's clever, though. She's very clever. She's very observant, and obviously very frustrated that she's in the afterlife because she had all this life that she'd like to have done. So I guess it's kind of a regret, like, oh, I should have done more maybe when I was alive. Then we have like the village spirits. So we have a ragtag group of ghosts, which I've said, some are old, some are really young, which is sad. We have a nurse and in there that passed away unexpectedly. And they all have their own secrets. They all have their own unfinished business. And it gets really interesting. It gets really tense at times, and does a really great job of playing that out in the book. So then we have like a local boy who disappears under strange circumstances. And his vanishing act is this catalyst for Abigail's investigation and her own, and finding him actually might be the key to unraveling like everybody's case, her case, all these other people's cases. So, but I don't want to go into too much detail because I want you to read it and find out for yourself about this ragtag group of people. But it's very humorous, it's very funny, and it's very sweet and poignant, and I enjoyed reading the characters. Now, the themes. So, the Deadly Detective Agency has a good blend of mystery and humor. And then you obviously have the supernatural, which they're ghosts. And it's crisp writing, it's witty, it's got great descriptions, and you can see kind of this place, the children. You can see the places that they go. And I forgot to mention, there's a wonderful medium in this, and she's legit. It's kind of like, is she legit, is she not, is she going to hear them when they come and talk to her and everything? But she is. And of course her husband just has been ignoring the fact that his wife has this gift this talent, and it helps him though in his career, or it hinders him in his career. You'll have to read and find out. It kind of does both. But it gets to the point where he just can't deny it anymore that his wife is a medium. And I love that character too. She's really great. So in this though, there's a really good balance between the murders that are going on and of course the character arcs. And I like that. It does balance this kind of eerie, with being entertaining. So it's a light read. It's definitely cozy mystery. I think that it's also a British cozy mystery. So if you're really into British charm and cozy mystery, please give this a read. So we have unfinished business. That's a theme. Each ghost has their own regrets, unresolved issues, and making their cases feel, deeply personal. And you want to find out, and you don't find out about all of them. You don't understand why some of them are still there. And that's intriguing because there's one in particular and that I was reading. I was like, why didn't he had a choice of going across like to the other side, like permanently, like to heaven or whatever. And he doesn't do it, but she doesn't explain why. So I'm hoping that's in a future book. Fingers crossed. You also have a theme of justice beyond death. So just because someone's passed away, been murdered, doesn't mean that their story is over. And I love that. I love thinking that this isn't it. Abigail and her team of detectives prove that, even after we die, mysteries demand answers. And sometimes we don't get them in life, right? But afterlife, maybe we do. I like that. And then, of course, we have the power of intuition, thematically anyway. Abigail's ability to kind of see beyond the obvious is what makes her a great detective. And she probably should have been a detective in real life. And I think she's realizing that in the afterlife. So this theme resonates too. So with anybody who's ever had like that deja vu feeling or gut feeling that they, hey, I've been here before, or something you just couldn't ignore, like the hair stands up in the back of your neck or your arms or something like that. That power of intuition is there too. Okay, so reactions from readers. Let's take a look about what other readers are saying about the Deadly Detective Agency. Okay, so here's the first one. It's a rather long one, but it's good. If you're looking for an easy, entertaining read to take to the cottage or beach this summer, pick up Anne Parker's The Deadly Detective Agency. It's a light, funny, and engaging book about a ghost who sets out to solve her murder with help from an assortment of quirky dead people and a married couple who are very much alive. Author Anne Parker has done a good job developing the main character, Abigail Summers, who in her late 30s and healthy is shocked by her untimely death. Abigail is amusing, although she's annoyed because she didn't die wearing her new cream silk pajamas. She is happy she has had her hair colored recently and her curls disguise her bedhead. Thus, the themes of death, murder, suicide, and ghosts do not drag you into a dark, dark place. You'll laugh instead. Cozy mystery fans will enjoy this book. That's a great review, right? And another says, The Deadly Detective Agency takes a fun, lighthearted approach to the whodunit genre, and I found myself being entertained by the characters while also being captivated by the storyline. I enjoy this author's books, and I'm definitely looking forward to the next installment in the series. Again, we have, this book had me hooked from the first chapter. The characters are charming, and the humor keeps the supernatural elements from feeling too heavy. Another, a delightful blend of cozy mystery and ghostly adventure. Anne Parker knows how to keep a reader engaged with her vivid descriptions and engaging plot twists. And finally, Abigail is a fantastic protagonist, smart, determined, and full of personality. I can't wait to read the next book in this series. And it goes on and on. I mean, I think there's like over 1,700 really positive reviews on this book on Amazon alone. And you got Goodreads and Barnes & Nobles. So definitely give this book a look. It's safe to say that it is winning over fans of the paranormal cozy mystery genre. And we do have other books by this author. We have The Deadly Pub Quiz, we have The Deadly Regatta, and then there's The Deadly Fun Run, all a part of this mystery series. And I know she's working on other things across the pond, as I would say. So if you love The Deadly Detective Agency, there are more, and you can devour those too. Okay, So what's my final verdict? My final thoughts on The Deadly Detective Agency is that I enjoyed it. It's great to have more than just one mystery, and it's great to have that paranormal theme. I think she did that really well here. It's an absolute must read for fans of cozy mystery and most particularly ghostly sleuths. And of course, charming British settings. Who wouldn't love that? The characters are lovable. The plot is well thought out. And I love the humor because it does keep it light amongst the ghostly kind of elements that are there. So whether you're new to Anne Parker's work or a longtime fan, this book is a great addition to your reading list. So read it again. If you've read it once, read it again. That's it. That's a wrap for today's episode of Books and Tea with Katie. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to follow me for more book discussions and recommendations. You can find links to the book and more in the show notes. And as always, happy reading, and I'll see you next time for another cozy literary adventure.